Hey guys, Stable here. Today we got a look at the Atlanta for you. We got Norm on the screen. Norman. Vian, Macau. EOP, I believe, is the name of the game. Slot number 4 there. I call it the IFHE perk. Increases the penetration of your HE shells by 30%. What does that mean? In Atlanta, we go from 21 millimeters of penetration on those HE shells to 27.5. So depending on where they round it, we're probably talking 27, 28 millimeters of penetration. Traditionally, Atlanta's main source of damage was lots of fires. You're still going to get lots of fires. Now we're getting lots of damage on top of that. You guys voted for Pick a Premium recently. This ship didn't win, but it came very close. I thought I was going to win. This week I'm kind of tight for time, so I'm working ahead a little bit. Started playing a few games in this one, assuming it was going to win. Didn't quite win, but we got a game here. Of course, if you guys want to vote for the ship for an upcoming Pick a Premium, we can cover it again. Anyway, here's a nice game to demonstrate how this ship works with the IFHE perk. Again, don't worry about it. That perk is kind of a must-have if you have the option, and you're talking light cruiser guns. 203s, something like that on a heavy cruiser, 203 millimeters. Not really going to be that effective because we already have really good HE penetration. So lowering the damage, lowering the fire chance, while really not increasing the amount of surfaces that we can penetrate, not that profitable. Here, though, when we got a ship that is light caliber guns, wasn't previously getting a lot of penetration on those HE, now we're going to get some serious damage here. I think this game we're probably going to get between, I think it's right around 4.5 times our ship's HP and damage, which is a measure I like to use for cruisers to judge the effectiveness of that game. I think it's a good metric for cruisers and battleships, actually. Anyway, here we are kind of playing centrally located. This is the black version of the ship, by the way. You can get this during Black Friday type events, right around Thanksgiving, end of November, for those of you that aren't from America. That's where we got this. Centrally located. We're going to be starting and stopping a lot for this, so we got prop mod on this one. Cruisers, usually I'll set them up for steering gears if they're more fluid flowing type of cruisers. The starting and stopping ones that are going to be hugging islands a lot, we're going to be putting the prop mod on that. You're going to see that throughout the sequence here where we're using these islands to control our, using those islands as cover. Königsberg coming around here. Now, why the Königsberg is in this game, he's obviously a failed platoon. But you can see he's doing a pretty good job angling there. He absorbs some shots there. Look at all those skips. We jump up from like 4 to 15 or something like that when he angles in there. So good job there, demonstrating the ability of these cruisers to angle. Of course, we go ahead and flip right over to the HE once that armor angling starts to show up and starts to hamper our plans. And we proceed to deal lots of damage to him that way. So not going to really be that effective in terms of protecting themselves in general, but those AP shells, which had he fully committed to going broadside, we could have one-shot him very easily. He at least protected himself from there. Here we got the AP loaded. We're going to pull forward. Yes, we're going to hit this island, but look at this shot. We're going to sneak one right over the ridge there. I think he's beached. Crew's getting off in a panic, and we sink the ship, confirming their belief that their time was coming to a close, at least in their naval careers. So that ship's removed from the game. He was in the wrong tier anyways. If you're in a division, play the same tier as your division mates for the sake of your teammates. There's really no point in a tier 4 cruiser trying to take on an Atlanta. It's generally not going to work out. Sometimes it will, but generally not a good idea. Anyway, we've kind of cleared the middle, or at least we've established a strong presence here. They still have a destroyer, but we're getting C. And I'm looking at the map thinking I probably have a pretty decent opportunity to get B. Number one, I thought the destroyer would go around that island and go on to B, trying to get some cap control. I figured if we go over there, no, we don't have the radar, no, we don't have the sonar, but if we go over there, he's close range. We could potentially blast him very quickly. If not, then there's a pretty good chance we can get that cap without getting spotted, get another source of income in terms of points for our team. Which would put us well on the way to closing the game out. So not a lot of damage off the beginning, but we did kind of establish a strong central presence here. The red team's playing mostly on the periphery, so it was fairly easy to establish that presence, but we did nonetheless. Moving forward, there's the Fubuki. We're going to try and take some shots on him. If we can hit him, great. Hopefully our team's doing a pretty good job shooting at him too. But now we're going to see the damage potential of this thing. And these light cruisers, where they excel is when they're shooting these battleships, especially juicy superstructure battleships like the California. We got a Queen Elizabeth behind them. Both of these ships are going to take a fair amount of damage from these shells to begin with. But when we put the penetration enhancement on Norm there, yes, we do take a fairly wicked salvo there, but nothing we can't weather. Get behind that island, slam on the brakes, and now you'll see we can completely take control of the situation. Yeah, we're getting spotted. These guys, though, their shots coming in very horizontally. They can't hit us. Our shots, straight at the moon. In fact, you can see all those clouds in the sky. That's where these golden showers are coming from, splashing them in the eye and getting their clothes all sticky. So that's not a situation these guys like to find themselves in. But we are in complete control here. We can start and stop. We keep the island in between us, and we rain down on them. Now, the American light cruisers are kind of designed to prevent people from pushing into these little zones that you're controlling here. So we got a Queen Elizabeth and the, whatever it was, the New York or whatever, both trying to push in. You're seeing the results. They cannot do it here. Again, we can control whether or not they can shoot at us very easily. We are slamming them for 2.5 to 5K per salvo. Massive damage now, whereas before we'd be getting maybe 200-300 here and there, just getting lucky when the pens hit. So this thing went from needing the full game and needing a little bit of luck with the fires to put up some big numbers to now the damage output is inherent in the ship, and it's very dangerous. So you got to really expect the Atlanta. The Atlanta used to be kind of the annoying pest of the game. I think it was the first campaign ship that came out. It used to be like the most must-kill ship in the game just because it would drive you nuts if left alone. Now, though, it will annoy you, but it will also end your reign of terror very quickly. So go ahead and take the Atlanta off the board whenever you get a chance to shoot at it, because if you don't, it's going to wreck your day. In the meantime, you can see our team has done an excellent job. We've secured B, we've secured C, in the process of securing A. If we can get that, we got all 3 caps, and then the ship is a problem. Centrally located here, especially in a zone where we got pretty good coverage, pretty good land coverage, we can kind of keep ourselves safe. We can basically defend all 3 caps from this particular sector, just moving a little bit to the west to the east. So, very strong position here if we can get at it. We want to be pretty careful. We do have Norm Scott telling us whenever we're being targeted. Yeah, we keep getting spotted here and there, but we're not usually being available for these guys to shoot at for a long time. But there we can see we're being targeted. Immediately just go ahead and move forward. So this ingenious perk, or whatever Norm Scott's version's called, very helpful. Just lets you know whenever someone's thinking about you. Should give you enough time to pack your bags and hit the road. Anyway, you can see now we're up to basically 120. Now it was a 30k ship or less. We're already, 4 times our ship's HP and damage. Over 4 times, in fact. And this thing, I played like 2 games on this just to get a couple games recorded. This is one of them. The other one wasn't quite as high damage here, but it was in like the 120 range. So very small sample size, I understand that. But like the Cleveland now, which was quite strong when we tested that with this Norm Scott IFHE type perk on there now, seems to translate just fine to the Atlanta. In fact, the benefit's probably even better for the Atlanta. I think the Cleveland, let me double check this, but the Cleveland guns are actually, yeah, they're 152s. These are 127s. So those are even higher calibers to begin with. So I'd say the benefits to the Atlanta probably even more pronounced than the benefits to the Cleveland, and the benefits to the Cleveland were robust. So Norm Scott is, I've always recommended him, I've recommended him for the American light cruisers really for quite a long time now, and this just completely seals the deal. If you're going to do a build for the American heavy cruisers and one build for the light cruisers, Norm Scott must be on the light cruisers. Get them on there. The damage will soar. The fire chance might dip just a little bit, but you can already put 2% in a slot 1, 3% in a slot 2. Just takes 12.2 points in terms of maxing both the slot 1 and slot 2. So you still got a +3 fire chance over a different build using the Norm Scott. Plus we got a 30% chance or 30% increase on the HE shells penetration, which again, that's when you get these outrageous damage numbers. So the American light cruisers I thought were strong to begin with. Now that we've had kind of the rework of that commander, they've soared. The stock is through the roof. I've always said, you know, if the Russians have that perk, why not the Americans? I think it's a little too strong for both of them. Like, I'd probably rather neither or none of the lines have access to that perk. Because I always thought the Atlanta, you could get pretty good damage with it. You know, you could get good games. But now I think it's going to be pretty easy to, as long as you're not playing a little too recklessly. If you're protecting yourself first and foremost, dealing damage while protecting yourself, and then you stay alive the whole game, it'll pile up. And again, this one ends up being about 4.5 times our ship's HP. But keep in mind, we've spent 3 or 4 or 5 minutes really kind of moving around here towards the end of the match where we're not getting a lot of damage. Had these ships been aggressively pushing the middle, or, you know, had circumstances changed, I could see this thing doing upwards of 200k. Probably not on the regular, but certainly from time to time. And in that case, we're talking like 8 or 9 times our ship's HP. And from that metric, we're going to be setting records for cruisers as a class, I think, because this is a relatively low HP, and yet you'll be able to absolutely pump out the damage. So interesting to see what you guys are getting for damage records in this one. Might be a record on the official Discord to keep an eye on, just to see what kind of scores people are putting up. But I suspect, even though again this is technically a high damage cruiser game, plenty more upside potential on this one than we're even seeing here. So anyway, that's a look at the Atlanta for you guys. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, well, consider subscribing, because there's more World of Warships content coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And we'll see y'all later. Peace.